Hello? There we go. You guys can't hear the game, right? Oh, good morning, I'm Old Man Sugarheart. We queued up in like 1/2 of a second. I am not prepared. I am not awake. But, you know, you roll out of bed and sometimes you gotta fight an old man. Whew. Boy, we queued up in like 1/2 a second. Which is much different from the hour it took to not queue up before. It's like everybody in Dynamis decides to queue up like at 4:30 a.m. every day. Whew, I felt like I should have gotten a little more time to wake up. So, how's everybody doing? So, for the sake of like all my viewers who tell me not to stress out so much, what I'm doing is not studying before fights. It's like, I know you can't win these, or you can't lose these fights, basically. There's like a small 1% chance. But like, the healers know what they're doing. The tank probably knows what they're doing. Is that a healer standing directly on me? Are you in your underwear, madam? Of course you are. You're a cat girl. Howdy, Gramps. Howdy, Rahatan. It's been a while. Feel like I haven't seen you since the Chef RPG days. Wait, no. I'm thinking of somebody else. Who am I thinking of? Was that you? Just been thinking of Chef RPG a lot. I wonder if these gals get cold with no pants on. They might. I feel like this guy's been at Half-Life for like 30 minutes. I'm not actually paying attention. This guy's got pants. He's got his little do-rag. He looks adorable. You tried to end your WoW addiction with this game but failed? I mean, it's a great time to start again. Like, WoW just realized they can make $1 million selling a Brontosaurus with a bank on its back. Like, it's all downhill from there. But for me, the trick to getting into this game is to pay a lot closer attention to the story. Like, if you can, just, you know, read everything. Don't rush through the quest. Treat it like a good book. Because for the longest time, I could not get into this game. Then I just stopped thinking of it as like an MMO. Like in WoW, you just like run from one place to the next. You don't read what any of the quests are, you just kill your 10 walrus. And you get your new pants. And then you move on. But Final Fantasy XIV is more like a book club. Let's see. Can I give you... Where's the commendation? There you go. There. Do boo boo do do do. Did that count? Whew.
I have taken thy measure, bringer of light.
My measure? He's gonna be like, it's very short and very round.
And I judge thee a worthy champion. The task of excising the sin that hath taken root in man's heart is thine. Shrink not from employing thy strength in service to the forest and the wider realm beyond. Like hungering shadows do the enemies of harmony gather, and meekness will but feed them. If man is to be delivered from the dark, it shall be by thy guiding light alone. Stray not from the path, for if thou dost, thy people shall be truly lost.
Thou hast slain the Lord of Levin, a regrettable act, but a necessary one. In witnessing thy struggle, a truth hath been revealed unto me. If I mistake not, it may yet prove a chink in the eternal armor of the Ascians. But let us conclude our present business. I shall expound upon my findings at the Rising Stones anon.
Where am I? Ryu gently pats me. I think that was the other tank. Oh, I am appreciative. Where am I going? According to the map, I'm going this way, but I didn't see anyone to talk to. I see Kafifi. Can I just fly through here? Am I going to watch the Mike Tyson Jake Paul boxing match tonight? I mean, no. I never really got into boxing. I feel like if somebody read me the results in the paper tomorrow, that would basically give me everything I need to know. Like, these two people punched each other. This guy punched the hardest. The end. But, like, yeah. That was the tank we saw in there. Oh god, how do I target people? Bye. Private Sugarheart, you've returned. Dare I ask how Ramuh received your visit? Well. He challenged you to a test of arms. It is well, then, that you have some experience in such matters. People of both Gridania and Lil Solace will be relieved to hear that the Lord of Levin has accepted you as the Forest Champion of Peace. You've performed a monumental duty this day, Private Sugarheart. The Elder Seed Seer must be informed of your deeds at once. But yeah, I mean, if I was gonna watch a boxing match, this would be a good one. I don't actually know anything about Jake Paul. I think he's related to Logan Paul, possibly. But even then, I've never cared about either of them. But Mike Tyson, on the other hand, I've kind of liked his biography. If you're going to read one, he's got a pretty cool one. Plus, you know, it brings me back to my younger years when the Fresh Prince was writing a rap about punching him, and he was in Mike Tyson's Punch-Out. Like, Mike Tyson's the only boxer that I've ever really known that kind of speaks to me on emotional, or like some kind of level. Any kind of level, really, in my sedentary lifestyle. Him and Butterbean. The Elder Seed Seer will wish to hear of your experience firsthand. Pray return to Gridania and make directly for the Lotus Stand. The Conjurer at Nafika's altar will be expecting you. Fare you well, Private Sugarheart. But yeah, I know Jake Paul's the favorite to win the match, which is interesting to me because it's kind of like, it's kind of watching like my generation lose to the new generation. Like, it feels like a signifying event that, like, my time is over. Which is a shame, because I'm still so far from being a success in my timeline. It's like, here's the best fighter from my generation. He's 90 years old. Please don't hit him too hard. And then he will hit him very hard. And Mike Tyson will be like, oh man. The end. Welcome back, Honored Scion. We who knew your mission have been most anxious to see you return. The Elder Seed Seer awaits you within. I mean, I kind of like the younger generation. That's why I stream to them. Although when I played Forza, there were people significantly older than me. Someone, like, told me how old their oldest son was, and he was older than me, and I'm like, dang, you 90. But you know what you're about.
You are returned to us, dear friend, and none the worse for bearing the heavy burden which I did press upon you. Most glad am I of this. I am informed that your efforts to negotiate a peace with Lord Ramuh ended in conflict. Pray tell me, what befell? Ramuh made trial of you? I fear there is truth to his claim. It is the darkness within us that attracts the darkness without. It cannot be denied that misfortune follows man. For evidence, one need only look to the conflict brewing in Cartano, or to the rising flood of refugees. Our shared struggle against the Empire should have served to seal our union. Yet the ties which bind the alliance strain under the weight of gross self-interest. As the scars of the calamity begin to fade, so too does our sense of common purpose. Yet now is scarce the time to forget our shared responsibility. If this new-sprung realm is to survive beyond its infancy, it must needs be nurtured by all. Eorzea must be as one, yet I fear that dream is still far off. On behalf of the people of Gridania and the elementals both, I thank you for all that you and your fellow scions have done. Full oft have I been compelled to look to you for aid of late, and offered all too little in return. As leader of this nation, I shall endeavor to prove a more worthy ally to your cause henceforth.
That's kind of nice. I have noticed that she does very little.
Lord Ramuh has departed, yet the keening of this ill wind grows no less insistent. Voices of the forest, pray speak and I shall listen. What unseen evil begets this unease in my heart?
Like, the leader of Limsa Laminsa, like, straight up came with us and shot several dozens of Hagen. And the Elder Seed Seer is like, so the elementals told me that some shit's going down. It's over in that direction. Good luck. What genre of games do I like the most? Honestly, like board game and card game video games. Like, I always liked board games and card games, but, like, I just don't want to set up or have friends. So, like, those are high on my list. So, like, things like Slay the Spire, Monster Train, board game Top Shop for PS1, Final Fantasy vs. Dragon Quest, the Itadaki Street Special, Fortune Street, Cold Sept. Like, my dream game is probably like a new version of Cold Sept. But truth be told, I play every genre of game, which might be apparent if you've been following the channel for a long time. Like, I just love games. I tend to like shy away from the games that are like highly competitive. Like, Deadlock's coming out. Someday, who knows, like Valve's new MOBA first-person shooter, and I'm like, I don't want to play that. Like, week 2, I'm gonna need like 1,000 hours of experience just to remain competitive. And I don't have that kind of time. You're a new follower? You just popped on your YouTube feed and you clicked? Oh, nice. You are new. Like, you've got a very similar name to somebody who like watched me play all of Chef RPG. But welcome. Which video brought you in? Was it the Gone VTubing? That one got me about 100 new people. 100 new friends. You were the same person? Oh, okay. This ends another daunting mission, eh, old? I hope Lord Ramuh could be persuaded with words alone, but nonetheless, I can only admire the adroitness with which you responded to the Primal's sudden challenge. And it seems Urianger too was pleased with the outcome. What say you, old? Shall we gather back at the Rising Stones and ponder the lessons of the day? Yeah, let's do that. You were the same person? Gotcha. Okay, so it was you. I'm not crazy. I kind of like being a small creator because it's a lot easier to keep track of everybody. Somebody popped in not too long ago and was like, hi, how's it going? And I'm like, hey, it's you. How's life over in Japan treating you? Because she went over there to teach English and she was like, you remember me? I'm like, I remember everyone. I blew somebody else's mind because they were like, they just like sent some cheerful message and it was like, good luck to you on your journey. And I saw that they had a decent number of subscribers and that they were a streamer too. And so I watched a few streams. And then I referenced one of the streams in the reply back to her and her head exploded. She was like, oh, you know who I am. And I'm like, yeah. I've got Santa energy. I stalk everybody. Welcome back, old. Word of your momentous encounter with Lord Ramuh precedes you. I would fain share news of mine own, but Urianger's discoveries must take precedence. Upon witnessing your defeat of the Lord of Leven, our learned companion was struck with a profound insight regarding the nature of the Ascian's immortality. Let us assemble and discuss his observations together.
If everyone is ready, let us begin. Urianger, the floor is yours.
As all here assembled now know, in its final hours as our Order's headquarters, the Waking Sands did play host to a most unexpected visitor. I speak of the Ascian clad in white, Elidibus. Unwelcome though his presence was, his words that day did serve to confirm a truth long suspected, that the Ascians are eternal beings, to whom physical destruction is as a temporary inconvenience.
In the intervening time, Urianger and I have striven to discover a means by which the Ascians might more permanently be slain.
And 'tis my belief that we have found the thread that will allow us to unravel the twisted skein of their existence. In the moments prior to Leviathan's most recent manifestation, the Sahagin elder who summoned him was observed to undergo some manner of ascension. The etheric readings taken by Y'shtola at the time of this transfiguration have proven most enlightening.
The disruption to the flow of ether was sudden and dramatic. So tangible was the agitation, I scarce had need of my goggles.
The significance of Y'shtola's readings might better be understood in the context of mine own, taken at the instant of the Lord of Leven's demise. Unlike the Primal, the Sahagin was not subject to etheric dissipation.
Before discussing our new discoveries, it may benefit us all to recall what we know of etheric behavior.
Things die and then they're dead. That's the behavior.
Let us begin at what some might call the end. When we who dwell in the material realm die, our spirits dissolve into the flow of ether and are returned to the ethereal realm. In turn, the restless energy which suffuses that plane streams back into our world, giving rise to new life.
'Tis as the heavens did decree, the way of all mortal souls.
I want to rent out a planetarium to explain the concept of death to my kids.
Twixt this world and the next do the ethereal currents swirl, bearing the very essence of life. Thus doth the cycle of birth, death, and rebirth continue unabated.
Primals behave somewhat differently. In order to manifest and then maintain a physical presence in this realm, they must consume vast quantities of ether, most often in the form of crystals. Though they may seem to live, their flesh is but ether given shape. Thus, a defeated primal leaves behind no broken corpse. Rather, the essence of its form seeps back into the land whence it came, and the energy of its shattered spirit is called back to the ethereal realm.
And there it waiteth, till next the prayers of the faithful do draw it forth from the sea of ether, to take their offering of crystals and make for itself a new body.
Which brings us on to the third group, the so-called immortals. They exist in a manner all their own.
Quite. Even as the Sahagin Elder fell to the Admiral's musket shot, I witnessed the release of an ethereal cloud, which immediately took possession of a nearby minion.
A soul that dissipateth not upon the death of the flesh.
The secret of life everlasting, and in the claws of a Sahagin no less. But I wonder, what would happen to one of these obstinate spirits should there be no suitable host for it to claim?
If mortal death entails a return to the ethereal realm, it seems doubtful that the soul of an immortal would venture there.
Nay, it merely withdraweth a distance, unto the shore of the ethereal sea, perchance, but no further.
Yes, it exists in neither this realm nor the next, abiding instead in the space that lies between them. The Ascians took control of Thancred by means of a crystal of darkness, an artifact which, if our theories are correct, serves as a gateway to the place I have just described.
I was hoping people had forgotten about that.
I am sorry, my friend.
For a mercy, the weary road of our research hath brought us unto an answer.
The Sahagin ascended to an immortal state, but he did not possess a crystal of darkness through which to flee this realm. Thus was he consumed by Leviathan. If we could entrap the spirits of defeated Ascians in like manner, and thereby deny them resurrection...
Eat it. Oh.
Therein lieth the path to victory. Thou art most perceptive, my lady. Only when we have trapped the bodiless soul within an ethereal prison can we hope to defeat its unnatural constancy. Thus might even an eternal paragon be consigned to oblivion.
Stealing souls does seem like the ethical way to go.
These feats are, of course, far easier said than done. At present, we lack a viable means to entrap and extinguish an Ascian soul. Yet, I believe it to be possible. The pieces of the puzzle lie before us. We have but to put them together.
I will depart at once to convene with the sages of Sharlayan. Together shall we divine the steps by which our goals may be achieved.
I have the utmost faith in you, Archon.
Beg pardon, antecedent, but I would raise one final matter. Even now, a Sharlayan survey party seeketh to ascertain the fate of the students of Baldessian. Their findings shall soon be known to us. Though you harbor feelings of dread, I bid you surrender not to sorrow, but abide instead in hopeful prayer.
I shall, Archon. Thank you.
Oh, it's the Black Hoodie Club. The Lord of Levin is returned to the Aether, as was Leviathan before him. Ramuh's acquiescence was most intriguing. Did you see me nail that word? Inferno, Vortex, Crag, Whirl, and Levin all have now been humbled by the Bringer of Light. The limitless potential of man, Heidelin's servant, grows mightier by the day. Yet he prospers at great cost to his mistress, whose strength is all too finite. 7 times have the masses survived the rejoining, but their souls have grown weak and wan. Yet, even as it enervates, the ardor empowers our master. All that remains is to nurture the strength of the gifted, to forge the final key. And that is the task to which we bend our every effort. Divine seeds were ever wont to quicken in Eorzea's fertile soil. We need only lead men to the field, and by their eager hands shall a new deity arise. That which was shattered shall be made anew, and the one true God shall come again. Schmeidelin, the god of darkness. Hi, kitty. Whew. Sorry, I didn't mean to ignore chat for so long. I try not to interrupt the story, even though I did several times. Your favorite games are Overwatch, World of Warcraft, Genshin Impact, and Touhou games. I have had a great time playing all of those. Overwatch was really fun when it came out. I heard they're releasing Overwatch Classic, which, you know, I'm still kind of done with the whole thing. I'm like, you should have never released Overwatch 2. World of Warcraft, I did have fun with that. I never got super far. The farthest I got was as a Tauren warrior. I just liked being big, as you can see. Rawr. And Genshin Impact, I didn't play too much either. Like, I got to the point where it was like, things would be convenient if I spent money, and that's when I abandoned those games. As for Touhou, well, that just kind of varies from game to game. Since, like, the IP isn't owned by anybody, anybody can make a game with them. And so it's kind of, the lore is just kind of made up, it feels like. You can do whatever you want. All fun stuff. So cool to find someone playing the MSQ. You really need to refresh yourself on the story of A Realm Reborn. I'm glad. And I am a guy playing basically exclusively the MSQ. Like, that's the experiment. I'm making Final Fantasy XIV the movie. Right here, we're about 2.5 hours into the 5th part. But yeah, I'm merging everything into these giant 12-hour videos and making a playlist of them. So if anybody was ever bored and just wanted to put something playing on YouTube for 360 hours, they've got this. but I'm glad you like it. Now, the matter of Ramuh has, for the present, been put to rest. There is something I would show you, old. It is a letter of thanks signed by the leaders of the Eorzean Alliance, acknowledging the Scion's tireless service to the realm. It mentions, in particular, the names of all the defeated primals, Ifrit, Titan, Garuda, Good King Mogglmog the 12th, may his reign last eternal, Leviathan, and now Ramuh. Needless to say, there is only one among our number who have faced them all. And though these words of gratitude were addressed to our order as a whole, I feel that they were meant for you above all others. Oh, hi, kitty. Hop on up. I, too, must offer my heartfelt thanks for all that you've done. In the course of your duties, you've never once failed to answer my call to arms. You are a true hero, old, and Eorzea is a much safer place for your presence. Meow. Pray, do not misunderstand me. I said safer, not safe. I know only too well that we can ill afford to lower our guard. The Ascians may be relied upon to sow chaos in the realm until such a time as they are forced to stop. Why, even without their encouragement, you may be assured that man would foment strife on his own. And that is to say nothing of the beast tribes, unless we learn to live in harmony. The primals, too, will return to plague us again and again and again. And yet, despite all of this, your deeds serve to inspire the people, to give them hope for a better tomorrow. And there is no greater gift. That we have the courage to strive for what might otherwise seem an impossible peace, we owe in no small part to the dangers you have faced on our behalf, and the people you have won over to our cause in doing so. Our list of enemies has ever been long, but think of the allies with whom we are now blessed. Are you still meowing? What's this stuck in your fur? You have gummy bears in your fur, kitty? I got you. Oh. Of the sylphs of Little Solace, we who wish not of conflict. Of the Alamegans and Domans who stand with us, determined to halt the dread march of the Empire. And then there are the many unsung individuals who have gathered here in Revenant's Toll, honest men and women who seek to employ their skill for the good of all. Of course, you're biting me, kitty. I will bite you back, I'll do it. Of course, when speaking of our greatest allies, we must not forget those closest to us, by which I mean our fellow Scions. Thanks to their many and varied talents, our order is uniquely equipped to combat the far-reaching corruption of the Ascians, and combat it we shall. Whew, I'm trying to read this while a cat is actively biting me. It's difficult. Your enthusiasm is truly heartwarming, Antecedent. Given our embarrassing wealth of allies, I trust it will not inconvenience you duly if I absent myself for a time. Riange? No. This guy. You finally worried about your sister? Alpha, no. I take it the troubles in Ul'dah no longer require your attention. There are yet some rumblings of discontent, but the air's simmering violence is largely dissipated. 'Tis to report such that I stand before you now. That, and to speak with you concerning the new organization we discussed. I have a message you from, you recall the refugee girl, the one whose parents were missing. They were found unharmed. She wished me to pass her thanks on to you. That one was kind of bothering me a little bit. Why, Alphino, am I to understand that you made an effort to remember the poor girl's name? I look forward to reading all about her in your report. I do hope you left nothing out. Old, you have been away from Revenant's Toll for some time now, I believe. Might I suggest that you put the affairs of the realm to one side for the moment and take this opportunity to reacquaint yourself with the town? Which reminds me, one of the Doman children recently inquired as to your whereabouts. Yozan was his name. I believe he has some small matter he wishes to share with you. Why not oblige him with a visit? Now this is ideal. My cat has hopped down and is lying on my feet and keeping them very, very warm. He is not built for winter, and I am. But my toes are still very, very cold. Yo, Zan! Look, it's Mr. Old. He's back from his adventures. We heard you were off fighting primals, and that they're some of the strongest enemies you could ever face. I wish I could have seen you in battle. Anyway, we all want to be heroes too, so we finally formed our very own Doman Adventurers Guild to protect all the Domans. Oh, do you think you could train us, Mr. Old? Maybe you could show us how you fought the primals. What's all this commotion, then? Mr. Boulder and Mr. Coltonay, did you know that Mr. Old is back? How it would seem. Welcome home, Old. My companion and I but recently became full members of the Scions, and I believe proper introductions have yet to be made. I am known as Hoary Boulder, and this bookish fellow is Coltonay. Though we remain largely unproven as adventurers, we have taken it upon ourselves to instruct the Doman youngsters in the arts of combat. I told you, Mr. Boulder, we're not younglings anymore. We are adventurers. And we were just asking Mr. Old if he could give us some special training. I think we're ready to hunt monsters alongside him, don't you? Well, you've certainly been diligent in your drills, but I'm afraid the fiends of Mordona are still ever so slightly too dangerous for you. I have a counter-proposal. What if I were to cross swords with Old? A demonstration of skill at arms, if you will. Ori, if I didn't know you better, and I do, I'd say you were merely seeking to test yourself against a legend. Mayhaps I am, but what matters is the motive when the children stand to learn so much from the lesson. What do you say, Old? Would you consent to spar with me? Yeah. Hurrah! We're gonna have a tournament. Come, everyone. We must prepare our gear for an outing. Do try not to disappoint them, then. Have faith, Courtenay. I shall summon every last ounce of my strength to make of this a worthy contest. The fields to the east town should prove suitable for our purpose. I very much look forward to our bout. Okay. Whoop. I had a thought I wanted to share, but it's gone now. There's a whole lot of story. And there's Ruruka! She helped us fight Ramuh. She main tanked that thing. She's probably just better geared than me. I have paid zero attention to things. Wait. She's ahead of us. She is probably doing the story without reading everything out loud. Which makes sense. That was probably the last we'll ever see of her. We could have been best friends. Lifelong friendship now gone forever. Hello? 'Twas good of you to agree to this, Old. I trust you're ready to begin? Yeah. Very well, let us not keep the younglings waiting any longer. Hori, are you certain you want to fight him alone? That is Old you face. What better way to test my mettle? Pray allow me to attempt the first round unaided. After all, 'twas this hero's legend that led me to join the Scions to begin with. Without Old to inspire my efforts, I would not be half the warrior I am today. Your point is well made, but remember, this is for the children's sake as well as your own. Should it appear the contest will end too swiftly, I shall aid my spells to your blade work. Hello, you haven't begun yet, have you? Ida? What? Who are all these people? When I heard about your sparring match, I told everyone I could find. Thought you could use a crowd to cheer you on. Yes, and there are still more to come. When I mentioned Old's name, the reaction was quite enthusiastic. Why, my own popularity seems but a sickly shade in comparison. You'd best claim victory, bringer of light. Your burgeoning reputation is at stake. Well, our teacher won't be beaten so easy. He's a master swordman. You can win, Mr. Boulder. We shall soon see. On your guard. Hey. Gone. Wow. I had to give him the first few hits for free. You know, mind games. Hey. Such power. Your tails barely do you justice. Mr. Boulder won't lose, will he? It's not over yet. It can't be. You're next, kids. The children have the right of it. This time I join the fray. Hori! Huh. Oh no, he looks hurt. Mr. Old is so strong, but you can't give up, Mr. Boulder. You can't disappoint the younglings, Garg! Never have I faced such strength, but the lesson must continue. And he's dead. You have bested me. I yield. That was incredible. He beat them both at the same time. We knew you couldn't lose, old. None can defeat the Guardian of Eorzea. Now I see why they send you to deal with the primals. I've much work to do if I'm ever to attempt the same. Those were some good-looking NPCs. Honestly, I kind of want to steal her look. Like that black armor. Pretty nice. Yeah, see her? There she goes. Impressive as always, old. 'Tis ever a pleasure to witness the spectacle of your martial prowess. And judging by the smiles of these many faces, they too appreciate the hard-won strength that keeps the perils of the realm at bay. Guardian of Eorzea. Yeah, that is the most fitting title. Do you recall when we first met? It was at the memorial service for the Battle of Cartno. At the time, I was yet attempting to understand this land of Eorzea. I sought to grasp the reason why Grandfather willingly sacrificed himself to protect it. I shall speak plainly. My initial impressions were less than favorable. Dire problems abounded, and yet the effort I saw expended towards their solution was haphazard and half-hearted. I thought Eorzeans were a foolish and childish people. Considering the shambles their home was in, I would not have been surprised if some had chosen to swear allegiance to Gaius and the order he proposed to enforce. The Legatus' single-minded military invasion precluded any such switching of loyalties, of course. Were it not for the desire to continue Grandfather's legacy, I would have abandoned the realm to its fate long ago. The threats were too many, the nations too self-involved and unstable. Hop on up, kitty. Yeah, I beat him. It was a good fight. It was fun. 'Twas you who convinced me the salvation of Eorzea was possible. 'Twas you who taught me, through countless acts of bravery, that what my grandsire sought to preserve was not the land, nor its history, nor any single nation. It was the people, these wonderful, oft infuriating, stubborn people that suffer blow after terrible blow, only to drag themselves back to their feet to face another day. Though he never put such feelings into words. I believe Grandfather's admiration for this inextinguishable courage grew to a fervent wish to aid Eorzea and its inhabitants in chartering a course for the future. A wish that has now become my own. I too will endeavor to take up the mantle of the Guardian of Eorzea and champion these people who toil towards a better world. Our cause, however, is not a simple one. The troubles that plague us are of a scale that cannot be solved by the scions of the Seventh Dawn alone. No, what is needed to tackle the root of the primal threat and effectively counter the schemes of the Ascians is a new, expanded organization that operates beyond the limitations of nations and borders. And if you would aid me in building such an organization, then pray let us continue this discussion back within the walls of the Rising Stones. Okay? That was quite the elevator pitch. Whoop. An elevator pitch being like a 15-minute of explanation of what your business is, in case you were unfamiliar. Ba-boop, ba-doop, ba-doop, ba-doop. Hugubert. He's not in here. He's over here. Well, well, well. He's back. Well, if it isn't Jehudzik. Hi, Josh. How are you? I do appreciate the subscription from yesterday. It's good to see you again. I mean, I'm back basically every day. This time every single day, at least. Thank you for coming, old. The world shifts and alters, and we, my friend, must ever be one step ahead of the chaos. Okay, not every day, but Monday through Friday, this exact time. What I propose is the formation of a new organization, a group that shall pave the way for a truly united Eorzea. Tenacity? I don't know which one's for tanks. Pray forgive me if I tread over old ground, but I would first speak of the grand plan. Since the advent of the 7th Astral Era, the leaders of the three nations have been deliberating over an accord that seeks to bring disparate forces of Eorzea together into a single entity. A realm-wide grand company, if you will. The military might of such an institution would be drawn from every corner of the land and directed against threats that no single nation could hope to overcome alone. Yet, while the purpose of this hypothetical organization is undisputed, the logistics of its formations have become the source of endless debate. And the longer these discussions continue, the more I sense the impetus toward unification draining away. Thus, I have been campaigning for the creation of what might be considered a trial company. It will be on a much smaller scale than what we hope to eventually achieve, but capable of the same manner of unrestricted operation according to the Scions. 'Tis my hope that the successful utilization of such a force will lend momentum to the lagging deliberations. Also, being primarily a military outfit, I mean to assuage. How do you pronounce that word? Assuage fears of its misuse by placing the fledgling organization under the authority of the antecedent. The Scions work tirelessly to protect Eorzea and its people. But as you yourself have witnessed with the refugee revolt, there are limitations as to what we can achieve. With this new company under the Scion's command, however, we will be capable of responding to a wider range of difficulties without straining our resources or overtaxing your formidable talents. The goals of my proposed organization and those of the Scions are ultimately identical, a point conceded by all concerned. But before I can move forward with establishing this precursor to true border-spanning grand company, 'tis yet necessary that I visit the three leaders and gain their official approval. A tiresome and time-consuming task, which is why I would ask that you accompany me on the journey and attend to the business of recruiting our inaugural members while I am otherwise engaged with bureaucratic formalities. Thank you. 'Tis reassuring indeed to know that the bringer of light and his discerning eye will be selecting our future allies. Our first destination will be Limpsa Laminsa. Let us rendezvous at Bulwark Hall. Okay. Let's just drain all the goodwill I just built up over the last, I don't know, 50, 60 hours. Boop-a-doo. Likewise, good to see you streaming again. Hope all is well. All is well. I'm still crazy enough to believe that, like, streaming is a viable future for myself. I've been thinking about the future quite a lot. I've been doing maths to figure out, like, at what time can I do this full time? And the estimate is something crazy, somewhere between 6 months and 6 years. Based on, like, the last week's growth versus growth overall, my climbing in the rankings and in Twitch, and how much you actually need to succeed. And, you know, that excites me. 6 years is about what I estimated. Or, sorry, 8 years total is what I estimated, but we're, like, at 1.5 years. So it's cool to know that, like, my estimates are in line with, like, the original. Alright, Bulwark Hall. That's in Limsa? Let's see, a Scion army. What could go wrong, right? What we need are more military factions. That'll improve the stability of Eorzea. Hey, what's 6 years among friends, right? Like, I keep seeing professional streamers basically dying from burnout. And I just feel it's super arrogant and unlikely that this won't affect me either. But, like, I feel like I could do this forever without experiencing burnout. Because, frankly, it's not that different from what I already do. And I'm having a great time. Ah, there you are. I'm ready to ascend to the bridge and speak with the Admiral Blofiswin. While the Admiral and I are finalizing permissory boundaries and signing parchments, I would have you begin the recruitment process in earnest. I have, of course, endeavored to spread the word of our organization through various channels, but I believe a personal approach will reach many who may otherwise remain ignorant of the opportunity. As for potential members, 'tis of no matter should they be already pledged to another institution, only that they're willing to lend their strength when the situation demands it. And you needn't range the countryside. The upper decks alone are populated with sufficient candidates to suit our purpose. Once you are satisfied with your recruiting efforts, meet me at the airship ticket counter and we might prepare for the next leg of the journey. He sure says a lot of words. What's my day job currently? Financial software engineer. I mostly do back-end stuff, making sure that the flow of money goes directly from the poor to the rich within, you know, the speed of milliseconds, because that seems to matter. And so you can imagine, like, I'm not super content with my day job, and so, like, basically, literally anything would make me happier. Whew. I am good at it, though. At least that's what I'm told. People believe I'm good at it, and that's important enough. Software engineering is such a weird place. Like, everyone's either, like, overly arrogant and proud of themselves for their abilities, or terrified that someone's going to find out that they have no idea what they're doing. What I've discovered is that none of them know what they're doing, myself included. Oh, you watched your video about streaming for a year and it really inspired you? Thank you for that. You're welcome. I'm really glad, Beanie Buns. I'm thinking of making more videos like that in the future. And I really do think it's possible. A lot of people get discouraged from streaming, I think because, like, it seems so unrealistic. Like, to be full-time, you need to be in, like, the top 10,000 streamers on Twitch. And out of 7 million, that feels impossible. But if you ever feel bad, like, just look at the people who are below the 10,000 threshold. Like, if you can see them and be like, you know what, I think I can do better than that, which you probably can. Like, the bottom several million are all really bad streams. Hope that streaming works for me. I hope it does too. Dropped you a follow, but didn't even realize I play your favorite game. I play every game. That's what makes me so fun. Like, I've recently played racing games for like the first time in a long time. I've recently played fighting games for the first time in a long time. And horror games. Usually there's something cozy on the menu, but aside from that, yeah, I play whatever sounds like the most fun at the time. Sorry, an organization with the freedom to operate with territorial impunity. I must say, your proposal intrigues me. Yeah, obviously we should speak to, like, the shady characters first for the new army. But the Krakens are well known. But the Krakens well know that there is a time to act and a time to watch. And I'm afraid this trial company of yours falls into the latter category. Yeah, I do try to keep, like, something cozy on the menu at all times, just because that's what the fans want. And it's like, it's pretty apparent. Like, whenever I play, like, a farming sim, I get, like, 10 times the number of views on YouTube. But I want to set the precedent that we play everything. That way, like, I don't, like, get famous playing cozy games, and then I play, you know, Space Marine 3 and blow everyone's mind, and they're like, what are you doing? You were supposed to be cute. Master Alphina's new organization. Yes. I had heard of the formation of this trial company was in the offing. 'Tis with regret, however, I must decline your invitation. As commander of the Yellow Jackets, the protection of Limsa Lominsa must needs receive my full attention. One of my strategies at work is basically, whenever anybody asks me to join a task force, I say yes. Mostly because, you know, all the work's the same no matter what you do. But it's really good resume butter to say, like, you remember all the most pressing problems that ever faced our company? I was on the team that solved all of them. And they were several different teams. But yeah, this is actually the most realistic result I've ever heard. Of course, nobody's going to join, like, be member number 1 of the new army. Can they be on our squad? Look at those squats. Have a problem with that? Lovely. Eh? Who in the bloody hells do you think you're talking to, Drylander? I'm a pirate, not some sodden knight in shining plate. And if you're looking for a self-righteous fop, try knocking on that dandy Cavalion's door. I did. I talked to him first. But I want the pirates to hang out with me. Speaking of cozy games, there's a cute one coming out later this month. Critter Cafe. I think it's going to be pretty cool. Petite Island came out, I think, yesterday. But that game's a little... Like, I haven't seen anything but cute from that game. I still need a game underneath the cuteness to get my interest. Precursor to the Eorzean Grand Company. Well, I do admire the scope of your ambition. My responsibilities here at Naldeek and Vimelli's keep me close to the forge. I have not the time to be traipsing hither and yon across the realm. Should you require my skills as an armorer, however, I might be willing to accept some special commissions. I like the goggles. This way. You're kind of coming to terms with the fact that you probably won't be able to have a normal job ever again. But streaming is fun and allows for so much creativity, so you're going to keep on it? I'm glad. And if you're streaming on Twitch, I'll drop you a follow after this. And we can support each other. Actually, that makes it feel like you've got an obligation to me. I will support you in your endeavors. You don't have to follow me. I know you already said you did, but Sugarheart gives his support out for free. And to everybody. Hey, how's it going? Hey, Sugarheart, good morning. Better late than never. But you made it again. Ah, you missed the fight with Ramuh. We beat up an old man. Which is a behavior I don't encourage. Well, if it ain't old, I'd not forget a adventurer brave enough or daft enough to seek the shortcut into the Titan's bedchamber. You remember old Real, don't you? Formerly of the Company of Heroes? 3 Whistles at Bronze Lake? Aye, it ain't often I drag me arse out of Limsa for a drink, but I'm glad I did. How you fare these days? Huh? You're looking to put together a new crew. Top tier work, huh? Sounds like a right lark it does. Alright, laddie. Count me in. The heroes may have gone their separate ways, but I ain't ready to climb into my grave just yet. Alright. We did ask the coolest people in Limsa if they wanted to join. I think I'd like to invite the chef at the Bismarck too. Real! Yeah, you're a big fan of Real? Does he come up often? I mean, he's charming. Like, I do remember him, but, like, I don't remember seeing him ever again after this. Oh man, you'll have to watch the replay later. Yeah, it was a fun time. Like, I get the weirdest queue times. So, like, last week, we sat in the queue for over an hour and didn't get in. This morning, I, like, log in and it just throws me right in there. Like, it was an instant queue. I'm still trying to figure out how this works. I think the advice I get from most people in Dynamis is, well, like, if you don't queue immediately, switch data centers. And that's what I thought I was going to have to do. But, like, man, it threw me in there all weird. And Windows installed an update and Streamlabs, like, shut off my mic. It was a rough morning. Old, your recruiting went well, I trust. I'm curious as to how my proposal was received by the rough and ready folk of Limsa Lominsa. Ah, a member of the legendary company Heroes indicated his interest. Astonishing. I knew enlisting your aid was the right choice. A few could boast the acquaintance of such an elusive character. I, too, was successful in my task. The Admiral consented to sign all the documents requiring her approval. I can only hope that my visit with the Elder Seedseer proceeds as smoothly. Pray, continue on to Gridania at your own pace. I shall await your arrival at Nofika's altar. Oh, I'm on Dynamis? Will I accept a present? It depends on what the present is. The answer is probably. I mean, I like presents. And it's not like you can give me anything that'll make, like, the game extremely easy. I'm expecting you have some kind of, like, cute puppy minion or something, right? Yeah, I'll accept any present. Like, I can't think of any game-breaking present. Like, those are the kind of presents, like, I'd say no to. Respectfully, nah. You give me the axe of instant transmission to level 90, I'd be like, no thanks, I'm good. But I don't think such a thing exists. Like, even Gil is not, like, a huge, huge benefit. It does kind of, like, get me through the end game, the true end game, which is glamour. It'll probably end up, if it was money, that would go directly to a pretty outfit for our run as an astrologian for Heavensward. Where am I going? What am I doing? Who am I? Oh, can't go to Dynamis? I got it wrong. You need to make an NA alt for these sort of things. You would have given me an extra emote. Oh, is it the cool one where, like, the kitties make, like, a little creepy face? Or is that, like, a kitty-specific emote? Because I've only seen cat girls do it. Hey, it's our friend Ruruka. She was in there when we fought Ramuh. My audience with the Elder Seedseer is due to commence momentarily. I would be grateful if you would once more see to the task of recruitment here in Gridania. You do have that one in your retainer? I don't even know what that means. I've never actually played with retainers. Is that a huge mistake? Should I be doing retainer stuff? After you deem the well of potential candidates as run dry, let us rendezvous at the airship ticket counter as before. You look in the horizon, you can see the occasional Lalafell bot. I saw them. They were popping in and out of existence with their 6 random digit names. Elusive bot ghosts. Maybe they got account banned right at that moment. That would be neat. Oh, sorry. I was eavesdropping on Ruruka's conversation. But that would be impolite. I think she might be role-playing. This seems like a great game to role-play. Like, I could see you really getting into it. Alright, potential recruits in Gridania. I'm trying to think of cool people we've met in Gridania along the way. Ooh, what about that lady who got her friend's head cut off? I heard she turned goth. Oh gods, can it truly be you? By what fickle fortune must the first face I see upon my release be yours? Oh, you're the guy. Heck, could it be you don't remember me? It is I, Laurentius, the man whose crimes you exposed. I was a whaler, and a regular patron at Buscaron's. Yeah, I remember. Well, of course you do. I was beginning to wonder if the jail had changed me more than I realized. Not that I have any particular wish to be recognized after my shameful conduct. The less said of my past, the better, I suppose. And what of you, adventurer? What business brings you to this part of Gridania? Recruiting, eh? And what is your policy on reformed convicts? As matters stand, the Wood Whalers will have not more to do with me. This may just be the second chance I was looking for. Revenant's toll, you say? I shall leave at once. You shall not regret this. I promise you, I am a changed man. You'd love to stream but haven't taken that step yet? Maybe someday? It's pretty easy to start. Like, I don't know. I basically... I spent my Christmas bonus 1 year on a VTuber avatar, which is not necessary, but, like, I felt like it was important. I do feel like you need some sort of avatar. It's a lot easier if you just use your face. But you need something to like paste on the screen so that people just don't think they're watching blank gameplay. Not that most people or a lot of people don't prefer it. Let's see. Hey, Kitty. Hi. Kitty, I can't see anything. You cannot be here. Ow. Oh god, my life. There you go. Be in the lap. Okay, where was I? I agree. But you also agree with your YouTuber video. There are crazy people out there. Yeah, that's... I mean, I made a video about it, but... that's the reason I'm a VTuber and not just a face. Like, if I didn't have a family and it was just me, I think I would feel confident enough to dump my face out there and just deal with whatever disaster, like, shows up at my doorstep and wants to raise my kids. Speaking of raising kids, Alien. That's a fun name. Grandfather. You must call it a day. Let us return to the guild and rest ere your tormented back gives up on you for good. I am terribly sorry. Were we just... old, is it? It's been some time since our paths crossed outside the Copperbell mines. Man, that was a long time ago. Why, you were barely more than a novice adventurer then. But look how far you've come. Mother Meown tells me it was you who felled the fearsome black wolf. And now you seek stout-hearted souls to fill the ranks of the new order? Well, your cause is undoubtedly just, and my old companion here would be much relieved to see me in good hands. Yeah, I'll do it. It's the very thing I've spent my entire adventuring career working towards. I shall join your company just as soon as I've seen Isoldoir safely home. Nothing I like more than trying to pronounce the names in Gridania. What's my cat's name? His name is Baldanders. Named after my favorite monster in my favorite game, Coldcept. So I wouldn't really know where to start to get one for a decent price without getting scammed. So I did a lot of research in the matter. If you're looking for a cheap VTuber avatar, there's contract work sites like trying to remember the names of them. Like, Etsy springs to mind, but I think you're a lot more likely to get scammed on Etsy. So I'd go something... Is it Just Work? Something like that? Just something? Fiverr is another one. You can, like, just search for, like, VTuber models and rigging there. In a lot of countries, you can find something for under, like, $200. VGen? I don't know anything about VGen. But, yeah. If you go through, like, a third-party website, like, say, Fiverr, you've got that third party to, like, safely guard, like, the transaction so you're not getting scammed by, like, random people who are trying to get you to pay them through, like, Cash App or something unsecure. But VGen is an art commission platform. I'll have to check that out after here. At the rate of my stream growth, I will be looking at getting a better model someday. Probably like 2 years from now, if the rate of growth stays consistent. Which it won't, but it might. Let's see. Yeah, I do love my kitty. And I really like my derp emote. It's actually him. I submitted a picture of my cat to the emote artist. So the derp emote is Baldanders. He's a big fluffy guy. He's very old. He's about 12 years old now, give or take. You would offer this old man's place a place in your company of champions? I'm both puzzled and honored by your invitation. Like, every good military needs a butler. Pray forgive me, young master, but I cannot accept. I have sworn to abide here for whatever scant years remain to me, and bear the responsibility for the evils my lady has wrought upon the land. Hey, thank you for the follow, Udi. I'm happy to have you. Are you the Udi from YouTube? And also, did I pronounce that correctly? Alright. No butlers for the new army. Yes and yes. Nice. I don't have much of an American audience when I stream at 4:30 in the morning. And so, like, I always have no idea how to pronounce things. Because, like, this time is about lunchtime in Europe. But it's also, like, the evening in, like, the Philippines and Oceanic region in the Pacific. And so I get a lot of things I have no idea how to pronounce. Basically, every pronunciation in the world. Like this lady, whose name is Swingewield. Tis not often a guild officer, such as myself, gets recruited. This company of yours certainly sounds to have some promise, but its duties appear less than focused. I must refuse your invitation until such a time as your organization is more organized. Now, a lot of good things can happen when you get in on the ground floor of something like this. You're Brazilian, and I pronounced it as an American would. Nice. I've got a decent Brazilian audience. I don't know why Brazilians like me. Frankly, I don't know why anybody likes me, but some do. But yeah, I used to hang out with the Romance language department of a nearby university because my old roommate was a Spanish teacher, and I ended up hanging out with lots of Brazilian people, lots of some lots of Spanish-speaking people, lots of Russians. It was a very, it was a rainbow coalition of partying. It was great times. Even learned the samba, but the Russian girl kept kicking me in the shins. Like, real bad. Like, she would kick me in the shin and insist I was doing it wrong. She kicked me so many times. Let's see. You're from here in the States, but you're usually up early for work, so it works out. That's why I'm up. This is the only time I get to myself with kids and a day job. What news, old? For my part, the Elder Seer was most amenable to our requirements. A former wood whaler and a seasoned adventurer, our company will not lack for variety, that much is certain. An interesting harvest indeed. Shall we strike into Old Daw while the iron's hot? Let us meet at the Royal Promenade and endeavor to conclude our remaining business. Our journey draws to a close. Like, the Alamegan refugees were just complaining about, you know, our preferential treatment of the Domans. If we extend this offer, it's strategically and politically sound. And Final Fantasy XIV is nothing but complex internal politics and team building exercises. Same for you at 7 a.m., but you start at 7. Oof. I showed up on your YouTube recommendation, so I guess YouTube is recommending you to Brazilians? Yeah. So, like, in YouTube, you tend to get, like, clusters of similar people. So, like, one of my biggest fans, like, who found me very early on, is in Brazil, and she works as a mail carrier. And so she's up early and just basically puts me on in the background as like a podcast. And so it will recommend me to other Brazilians who like cozy games. And I don't know, dull old men. I'm not exactly sure how it's typecasting me, but like once you get in someone's watch history, and the more time you spend in that person's watch history, the more people like them you end up with. Like, one of the easiest things to do to like support a streamer is just watch. Because like, for my Brazilian crowd, I think I have to thank like my Brazilian big fan that showed up early on. Ul'dah, the Gilded City, where one's fortune defines one's worth. I hope some manner of fortune is with us, and that this final leg proves as successful as the previous two. Might I suggest descending it to the lower level before beginning your recruitment efforts? I do not think the Sultana will take kindly to us poaching from her personal guard. Let us meet back here at the promenade where our respective tasks complete. Good hunting, old. You'll recommend me to your Final Fantasy buddies? That's nice. Thank you. I really do appreciate it. One of the mistakes I think early streamers make is they ask strangers to like and subscribe. They'll ask like friends and family. They'll be like, "Hey, I'm starting streaming. You should watch." And like maybe like 1 in 100 of your acquaintances will be like really into it. And everyone else will just kind of like and subscribe because you told them to. But really, streaming to people you've never met, and like people who genuinely like you, for no particular reason. Like, it's often better than, like, recruiting from friends and family. Did that ramble make any sense? It's a theory of mine. The thing is, like, friends and family, like, they like you, but for different reasons than for, like, what your hobbies are. Yeah, if they subscribe and don't watch, it kills the algorithm. Yeah, that's been my experience. Oh, what a happy coincidence. You remember me, perchance? I'm Orson, of the Church of Saint Adama Landama. Thank you for your timely rescue. I must also thank you for preventing that fraudulent priest from preying on dry bones less fortunate. A most upsetting business. Are you here with your companion, Thancred, was it? Ah, 'tis new companions you seek, then. Your proposed organization sounds a powerful force for good, but my place is at the church with the children. Nevertheless, I wish you well in this undertaking. It reminds me, like, I've got a friend who knows I stream, and he's constantly, like, telling me what games I should play, and I've played them a few times, and then, like, I'm 99% sure he's never watched any of them, and so I'm like, I'm playing these for you, but, like, do you actually care? Like, why are you recommending things you're not going to watch? I'm sorry, you wish to recruit me? Is this some new fashion manner of propositioning a lady? Well, I'm afraid you're wasting your time. This lady has already spoken to you. Good day, sir. Oh, Yellow Moon, one day you will be mine. Ah, she hit me with the, I have a boyfriend. When someone does that, you drop it. Regardless of if it's true or not, you're just like, okay, I'm out. Yeah, that's unfortunate. I mean, like, I've met a lot of cool people playing, like, some of his recommendations, so they weren't entirely bad. Some things that spring to mind, Subnautica, Skyrim. Skyrim was actually kind of like my response to him. He was like, you got this shiny new computer and you're playing all of these like indie games that like require zero graphics. You need to play something like visually impressive. And I'm like, got it, Skyrim. Download 500 gigs of mods. Like, I can't get much more resource intensive than that. You'd be surprised what rumors drift down to Pearl Lane. I know of this glorious new company of yours, and just how far I'd go to avoid getting involved with it. Whispers on the street say your organization is funded by corrupt coin, by syndicate money. And if you think you're recruiting for a just cause, then you're a bigger fool than I took you for. I mean, fair. Rumors and hearsay. A company that looks to cure the ills of the realm entire. Listen, friend, I can scarce bear the complaints of the stall next over, let alone the conundrums of a neighboring nation. Why am I recruiting street vendors? They've got a job. But sometimes playing old popular games works really well for streaming. Like, there are games I classify as like forever games. Like, once people find these games, like, they're content to play it for like the rest of their lives, never touching anything else. Things like Call of Duty or Madden or Satisfactory or Minecraft. Like, people find these games and they're just like, this is it. This is me forever. I don't need any other game. And like, if you stream those, you'll always have an audience because they're always looking for more. But like, they won't follow you to the next new game. And so that like doesn't work for me in particular because I've got about a 70-hour attention span. Like, if I make it through the full 360 hours of Final Fantasy 14 story, that will be like one of the biggest accomplishments and like consistent gaming I've ever had. It also depends on how big the pool of streamers are for that game. There are a lot of great indie games out there that have much smaller pools than big AAA titles. Yeah. Satisfactory mentioned Heart. Yeah, I got a lot of viewers from Satisfactory. Like, if you look at the views on my videos, like, for whatever reason, Satisfactory gets hundreds and hundreds of views, where typically I get 3. Meanwhile, you with 4,000 hours in this game, right? Like, Final Fantasy 14 is probably like the best forever game I can think of. Because there's so much content here and there's so much to do, and the social aspect is there too. Like, you could build an entire life in Final Fantasy 14. Like, there's so many like stories, like I met my husband doing fishing in Final Fantasy. Is good times. And people like that are often just always looking for like new content in Final Fantasy 14. Someone like popped in and said they were so glad I was playing MSQ because they needed a refresher on their Realm Reborn story. Like, it's reasons like that that have made Final Fantasy Fridays successful. And I'll keep doing them probably forever because like I keep getting an audience. Oh, wait, you're the man who came to Little Alamigo looking for that masked devil. Who knows what might have happened if you hadn't? I'd probably be dead. And a whole lot more of my friends besides. We were such fools. Any road, the disaster really got me thinking. About our homeland, about the outsider who saved us from ourselves, and I realized how easily I'd been manipulated and vowed to make myself a more worldly man. So here I am, a new company of champions? And you say it will take me to all corners of the realm. That sounds exactly like the kind of opportunity I need. And don't worry, I'm not the same stripling you met in Alamigo. I've prepared myself to fight the evil I now know is out there. Alright, yeah, see, that was the little Alamigan refugee I knew I could recruit somewhere. Where's the elevator? Genuinely, I have no idea where I am. Here. Boop-a-doo. Boop. But yeah, like, so playing a forever game will get you a lot of views. The problem is, like, people with their forever game mostly will not follow you to other games. Like, there's gonna be a decent number of people who are watching me play Final Fantasy just because it's Final Fantasy. But a lot of them are not going to cross over to see like the cozy games or the horror games or the racing games. And that's fine. I've just got to appreciate those friends for what they were. Just, you know, people who saw me doing a thing that they loved and wanted to support me. I like that. How fared you, old? What hidden gems did the streets of Ul'dah offer up to your unrelenting gaze? I found a dude. A single Alamigan youth. Well, you've certainly given us an admirable start, even if our ranks are still yet somewhat thin. In these troubled years following the calamity, talk of Eorzea's salvation must seem akin to grasping at clouds. But there are those who have risen to the challenge nonetheless, and the hope that inspires these people was born in no small part from the victories you yourself have won. Thank you, Old. I will not squander this precious gift that you have placed into my keeping. These recruits will become the foundation of a new beginning. And yes, we are free to begin. As you've no doubt surmised, the Sultana has also graced my trial company with her blessings. Our first wave of recruitment is over. The document signed, the finances secure. There is naught to prevent me from taking the next step. About the finances. You're concerned about the syndicate's involvements? As was I. Thus was the origin of every coin of their contribution carefully scrutinized and recorded. This organization will not be built on corruption. Now, hang on. It sounds like you just said, yep, that's money, and wrote down how much. Naturally, I would prefer not to rely upon outside sources at all, but even my family's substantial coffers cannot sustain a venture of this magnitude. And as for the rumors and doubts surrounding the enterprise, well, such things shall plague us until the company has had a chance to prove its worth. It will not be an easy process, but we will earn the people's trust one success at a time. Speaking of time, we should waste no more of it. Let us return to the Rising Stones and lay the first stone for a united Eorzea. Whew, that was a talky quest. Though it gave me a good opportunity to ramble about myself. And I always like those.
Tell me, General, what think you of Alfino's bold endeavor?
I think it is more than bold, Your Grace. His organization would pave the way for a united Eorzea. Well do I understand his impatience, since facing the common threat of the Ultima weapon, our nations have seemed farther apart, not closer together.
I wouldn't say that.
Considering the many problems we face, should we not be glad that someone else is taking the initiative?
We have all pledged our cooperation, yet the grumbling continues behind closed doors. Ul'dah is not alone in her duplicity. I myself have doubts as to the good this organization will achieve.
Same.
With the inclusion of the finest soldiers of the 3 grand companies, it promises to be a fearsome military body. But whom will it serve? Even under the watchful gaze of the Scions, it is not unthinkable that such a force could perpetrate a great wrong. Does it not concern you that a significant proportion of its financial backing came from the coffers of the Syndicate? That those unprincipled worms might forge this extraordinary gathering of warriors into a private army?
I have trust in the Scions, Your Grace. They have spared us no end of trouble at the hands of the Primals. If they seek reinforcements, I deem it unwise to deny them. As for their finances, full many gave generously. And though our nobles proffered a sizable sum, their coin did not spill from the pockets of Lolorito and his cronies. And what of the presence of our stalwart adventurer friend in this endeavor? I doubt the Warrior of Light would betray our cause.
Yes, there is that, I suppose. Yet I have known people to change. Whether we will or no, the events of the age hurl us this way and that, like a dust devil skipping across the sands. Cannot be done about Telechi?
I have explored all avenues available to us, Your Grace.
But as Ul'dahn law now stands, we lack the evidence to convict him of any crime. To arrest him on spurious grounds would only play into his hands.
He has all but committed treason, and yet we can do nothing?
I could throw him pretty far.
What good our government? What worth the royal house? How deplorable this mockery of justice!
Aww. It's so good that Raubahn has two arms for hugging.
Have faith, Your Grace. It is not over.
He's so good at hugging. Let's see. Where am I going? Rising Stones. My alarm did go off, and I do have to get the kids to school, but I have to complete the quest first. The fate of Eorzea is way more important than, you know, second grade. Everybody knows that. Surely the teacher will understand. I don't know, I've gotten a couple of angry letters from my daughter's teacher in particular about her tardiness. Clearly it's not my fault. That is not a journey I soon wish to repeat. But I cannot pause to rest. The culmination of all our effort is at hand. I must see to the preparations for the inaugural ceremony. Thank you for allowing me to monopolize your services, Old. I am certain the antecedent will be relieved to see you free for other duties. Teacher, I'm sorry, Raubahn's arms were important. Like, have you seen them? They're so good for hugging. Alright, thank you so much for watching, everybody. I had a great time. We'll play more Final Fantasy next Friday. And we'll just keep going. We might even get to Snowcloak? I don't know. The talking's been pretty lengthy. We might not make it there, but I hope we will. I'm excited for the Ak-Ampa Theater, whatever it's called. Mostly because the soundtrack there is amazing. And so I'll probably listen to that soundtrack all day, but I will see you tomorrow. No, not tomorrow. Tonight. If you want, I'm playing Magical Bakery tonight. It's been a while since the Night Scream had a cozy game, and so I'm excited to get that back going. And yeah, lots of fun stuff. I don't have anything planned beyond that. Next schedule might change a little bit. I think I'm moving the Friday night stream to Saturday night stream again. But that might be like the last time I change the schedule, or at least I really hope it is. And there's Sandra, right on time. I love raiding Sandra. She plays Final Fantasy too. She plays on Fridays. Oh, she's getting dressed at the moment. Alright. Let's raid her while she's getting dressed, shall we? Alright, everybody. Have a great night. Bye-bye.